I believe we are live. Get the camera angle right. Right. Just bring the stream up on the laptop so I can see any chats. Won't be a second, I'm just bringing it up on the stream on the laptops just so I can see any messages, any chat. Check the volume as well. Hopefully we're good to go. We are. Let me mute the stream. And we're off and running. Bit of a different camera angle. If I'm weathering like this, it should be almost perfect. Right. Okay. Accurascale class 31. We are weathering it for my uncle. If you read the description of the stream, he said heavy, lots of streaking, sort of blacks slash smoke streaking down from the rooftop. Let's get on with it. I've got the majority of the paint mixed up ready to go. So we've got Rail Match Frame Dirt, we've got Tamiya Flat Black, just because I've run out of my Vallejo one, and we've got Vallejo Smoke. So let's get going. Quick shake. Airbrush is currently at about 18 psi. Right, let's make a start. Start down with the bogies, makes it easier to blend it in that way. With wall angles as usual. Top of the bogies. A bit of a strange. I'll wait till the compressor stops to speak. Bit of a strange camera angle. It's just because I've got a new light and the light is actually up there attached to the curtain rail. So if I put the camera where it usually is, it blocks the light. I will figure something out. As I'm sure most of you are aware, It's actually Doncaster exhibition today and tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow on Sunday. You're not going to see this part, so I apologise, but just going to do the front, just get them done. Whilst that's still wet, get a fairly soft brush. Be careful of all the detail. And there's a lot on this one, on the 31. Repeat for the other side. Simple. Lovely. Right, now these frame dirt's dried down here. There's a few places where it needs touching up, a little bit there, and a bit blending there. Check the other side. So I'd say there and there, just blend it together a little bit better. Lovely. I'm looking forward to Doncaster tomorrow. There's me going, my uncle going, there's Alan going. Hopefully I'll bump into Andy. If you see me, I don't bite, I promise. Come and say hello. And just so because of the new light that I've got up there fitted on the curtain rail, the camera angle's a little bit dodgy, and I will somehow fix that for the next stream. I just wanted to get this done because my uncle's been waiting patiently for me to do this one. So I'm happy with that. So the frame dirt, just tip it back into the jar for now, just in case we want to come back and add some. Just a couple of little wipe on the outside so we don't get drips. Blast some water through and then we're ready for the next colour. The joys of acrylic paints, it definitely makes it easier. I'm a little bit off camera, if I drag it in a bit. So yeah, I do apologise about the camera angle, I know it's a bit funky, but I'm hopefully going to get an attachment that I can put on the curtain rail next to the light that will hold my phone. I live stream from my phone, if you didn't know. I make my videos on my phone as well. I will invest in a camera eventually. So the next colour, we're going to come in with a black. Blast that water out. So we've got the black, give it a quick mix. All these paints I've already thinned and got ready. Just a bit of black, I don't need loads. I'm now going to turn my air pressure down, turning it down whilst pressing the trigger. So we're at about 12 psi now, and I'm just on a piece of this tissue. I'm going to test to see the line work. Might have another one tomorrow. Give me a chance, Pete. So that's thin enough for me to get in with the details. Hopefully you can see that. Keeping the trigger pressed so we don't get tip dry. I'm first going to come in and attack the grills. When we're doing the grills as well, I'll just point this out. So we've done the main section of the grill, but we're letting it bleed over a little bit. Once we're a bit further on, I'll bring it closer to the camera so you get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. So that's one side done. As I've said, we've let the black bleed over the edge a little bit, so not just the grills. So let me just try and hold it up close now. I just don't want to, obviously some of the paint's still wet, you see. If I just hold it there without pushing in any glazing, hopefully it'll focus, which of course it's not doing. Fantastic. There we go. The light's bouncing off it a bit, but hopefully you can see what I'm trying to say by letting the black come over the grills and sort of down the body just a touch. Nothing drastic, of course, but it comes over the body, starts heading down the body slightly. So same again. Okay, I've held that side up now. Hopefully we'll get some focus. Just give the camera a second or two. Yeah, so the light's bouncing off it a bit, it's quite hard to see. But hopefully you can see what I'm saying. And that's going to help us for the next stage, where we're going to start creating some streaking. And for that side as well. Just give the camera a few seconds. So hopefully you can see what I'm saying by letting it bleed onto the body, or bringing it down the body, I should say. So, whilst we've got the black in the airbrush, we're going to target the roof. I'm just going to quickly look at one of my reference pictures. I'm working from 2 reference pictures. Unfortunately, I've no way of showing you them. Okay, so we've got a streak in there. Okay, so the roofs are pretty straightforward. You know, we've got black and then we've got a few streaks coming across. Pretty simple. Now, this is the only part where we've got to be sort of mega careful, because we don't want paint clogging up the fan. So again, with that low air pressure, I'm around 12 psi still. I've not changed it since starting the black. It's just going to give me more control, that's all. So for the black, we are going to just pass over the front. Again, apologies if you can't see this section, but it's going to be a very, very light passing. Just to create just some sort of shadowing detail. That's all I'm doing on each end. Being careful every time you touch the low coat. Sorted. Shift that out of the way. I appreciate you all coming and watching the stream as well. Is it better if I turn this light down a little bit? Is that better for you? Let me know. Just turn it down a few steps. Get rid of the black now. Back into the tub, just in case. Give the side of the airbrush a wipe. As you can see, it's dripping down the cup. I'm going to have to turn that light back up actually. I've made it quite difficult for myself to see. So, I'm sorry about that. Wrong way. Anyone heading to Doncaster tomorrow? Myself, my uncle and Alan are heading there. So what's the next step? The next step is the smoke. Now this, if I just get the bottle for you. Just give me 1 second. So this is the smoke. It's still Vallejo, but this time it is model colour instead of model air. Hopefully it'll focus. It's the wrong way around. So it's smoke, as I said, and this is more of a, how do I describe it? It's, when it's dry, it's more translucent, if that makes sense. I know what I'm trying to say and you'll know what I mean when I start explaining it. Blast the water out. It's clear, so we're good to move on with the next colour. The amount of rolls of this blue stuff. Oh. I've got 6 rolls sat in my grandma's bedroom. That and cotton buds. That's all you need when you're weathering. Okay, I just need to give that a wipe. Give my finger a wipe because there's something on it making it slippy on the trigger. Right, on with the smoke. Give it a quick shake, quick mix. So, as I said, it is model colour, so this does need thinning a lot more than the Vallejo Air, Model Air. Model Air you can use straight out the bottle, but I don't. I thin everything that I use. Sometimes I'll add flow improver or reducer instead. Right. Again, low air pressure still. And we're going to start coming in this area to blend it, to blend that black in and sort of tone the black down just a touch. For a second, I thought I may have put the wrong colour in. Hold on. I'm just going to mix up a new colour, a new smoke, because I'm not sure which one's which now, and I don't risk it. Don't guess. Just empty the airbrush out. Right, smoke. I'm just going to mix up a fresh one, there's no point in me guessing it. So I'm going to use reducer. No, I'm not. I'm going to use thinner. Nice clean brush. That's good. Two seconds to mix up a new one. So if I did get the wrong colour, that would have been a disaster. Okay. Right. There we go, that's better. So I'm guessing I did have the wrong colour. So it looks like it's going on really heavy, but just give it time to dry and it dries translucent. So where we've done these streaks, we're going to bring this smoke down the side of the body. Straight as you can, which is easier said than done. If I just show that effect, just on one of the streaks we've just done, not fully dry yet, so it'll dry a bit more clear. But if you look here, can you see the effect it's giving? Sorry, I'm trying to get it in camera, but the camera's reversed. I will bring the camera down afterwards and show you the full local up close. So now, I said we brought that black down the body from the grills, so we're going to go over that now with this smoke. And again, you can of course start to create some streaks with this. Can I just say that doing it straight is so much harder than you think it is. Okay, that came out a little bit heavy. Just going to get a little bit of blue roll. Just dab it, don't wipe it. Just going to bring most of the paint underneath off as well, which is of course the black. but we can blend that in just using the smoke. Like that. Looks heavy now, promise you when it's dried, look completely different. Right. Get these bits blended in now. Don't forget as well, when you are doing streets of some sort, like I'm doing now, they don't have to be top to bottom, they can be any length you want. Like so. You know, some of them are barely visible. This one here, this is much more visible. This one here you can barely see. That's the whole idea of it, right? Okay, so I'm going to put the black back in. And just do some touching up with it. You need to, of course, do a bit of a black coverage over the roof, very lightly. Doesn't need to be anything heavy, of course, but spray water through the airbrush again. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Board 3 is currently sat behind the laptop built, waiting for a track plan, which I do have a track plan, and I've got what I believe is a pretty good idea and something I've not actually seen modelled before. I'm not going to reveal what it is just yet, but personally I think it could be, if done correctly, it could be the best board I've got at the moment. So I'll just grab the black again. I need to make a shopping list for Doncaster. And on that list is track, because I can't do board 3 without any track. So just a tiny little drop in there. We don't need loads now. Okay. All I'm trying to do, coming in with a black again, is those smoke streaks we've already created. I just want to run down the centre of the streak with a tiny touch of black. Again, easier said than done. And the matte varnish is going to tone this down considerably. So now all I'm aiming to do now is basically the body panels that I haven't really touched with any paint at all is just tone them down, and by doing that, like, the airbrush is much further away with a low air pressure, giving out very little paint, and that's how I'm going to achieve the sort of non-cleaned grubby look that we're after. You may not be able to even tell that what's going on camera, but I can assure you it is. And remember, this is black, so be very careful. It's very easy to overdo it. We're going to apply the same process to the top, to the roof, from one end to the other. The airbrush is quite a distance away with a low air pressure. This will create its own streaking as well. Do another pass. What we're doing is toning down that blue. You shouldn't be able to see black, if that makes sense. It's hard to describe. Where the roof curves, don't forget that. Okay. So we're getting there. It does look very heavy on camera, I'll give you that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix up a matte varnish. That's going to be the final coat. A nice matte varnish. And then in 1 hour's time, I want you to head to my Instagram, Wayne's Layouts, to see the final product once the matte varnish is dried. So let me just get this mixed up. With the varnish, I'm going to add the thinner first. Make a clean brush. Could be a bit thin. No. I can't figure out as well, if anyone can tell me, why will it not let me stream in 1080p? It's only letting me stream in 720, which is rather annoying. Oh, we've had a disaster. I've just knocked my black everywhere over my work table. Sorry, I'm just going to have to wipe that up. Ugh. Disaster. Right, matte varnish. You need to definitely clean the airbrush for obvious reasons. So I'll just top the colour up with water and we're just going to spray that out. Anyone who doesn't know, I'll just spray it into one of these. It's got a filter in there so it takes out any harmful, anything harmful in there. Now, whilst I'm on about this, and of course the generator's just kicked in, I would normally be wearing a respirator which is sat up on the curtain rail. The only reason I'm not is because I'm doing a live stream. If you have an airbrush and you're airbrushing, you need a respirator. That's all I'm going to say. What did you all think of my running video? I tried to make a bit of a story scene out of it. There is another one in the works. That won't be finished for quite some time at the moment. The story was along the lines of, you know, it's crack of dawn in the morning, the yard's not woken up, the sun's not risen. And as it does, the yard starts to wake. And the locals head out and do their duties. Right, that's in the airbrush ready to spray. I just need to get something to lean the local against. Normally as well I will put mask on the windows, but what I'll do after is I'll just clean the windows. It's just easier, quicker. Oops. Okay. Simple. Turn the air pressure back up. It's around 18 to 20. Nice smooth spray. Just spilt it everywhere. Okay. First coat. We're going to give it a total of 2 coats. The first coat is going to be just a very light passing. Going to do the end, sorry if it's off camera. See how I sort of skipped over the fan? Just a few minutes to dry, that's all that needs, and we'll go with the second coat, which will be heavier than the first coat. The idea is not to create runs. If you create runs with the varnish, it's a complete nightmare, because you go to clean it and you pull the paint off underneath and you've got to reblend everything. So we've got 4 people watching. Is anybody at Doncaster? Anybody? If you do me a favour, just hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, I appreciate it. Anybody who interacts with my videos, I really do appreciate it. Okay, we'll go back to this side, tilt it up, final coat. Steve, no, I'm going tomorrow to Doncaster. Heavier coat as mentioned. Keep the airbrush moving, do not let any runs create, because they are nothing but a nightmare. You usually get the runs where the details are, so just keep that in mind. Wherever there's sort of panel lines with details around, that's where they usually puddle up. Steve, I appreciate it, thank you. As mentioned, the windows will be cleaned afterwards. I would normally use a mask on, which is just a liquid mask. For purposes of time, it's just easier for me to clean them up after. Well, it won't be today, it'll be tomorrow. Skipping over that fan. Right, you see that there? I don't know if that's going to show on camera. Just there, if it's shiny, well, you can't really see it. It came out a bit heavy there, and it has puddled a little bit. I'm not going to touch it, I'm going to leave it. Always on the last pass, isn't it? Again, I'm just avoiding that fan because I believe it's a working fan, and we don't want to jam it up. We don't want something else that we have to clean. I can't pick it up and show you now, can I? That was silly, I should have done that first. Okay guys, head over to my Instagram, Wayne's Layouts. There will be a picture of this once the varnish is all dried, and you'll see the blacks and the smokes, how much it sort of toned it down, and you'll see the final outcome. Okay, I appreciate you all watching. Hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one. And if you're at Doncaster tomorrow, come and find me and say hello. Appreciate it guys, see you next time.